them open. Big Ben from Pulatua. Berrigan weaving run to the try line. And what about this from Brett Finch? Lance Thompson will score for Kingsgrove. This is Braithen Astor. Sensational play from Craig Gower. Oh, big tackle. What a hit. Beats another. Mark Riddell. Nathan Kalis all fired up. Like a steamroller, Mick Fella. Oh, great tackle. Fitzgibbon will score. This is Tahu. Tamana Tahu is through. Richard scores for Westfield. Now it's with Jamie Lyon. Barrett will get his second try.
One of the big-name schools in the Kellogg's Nutrigrain Cup come up against one of the biggest improvers today, Kiama High School. The South Coast champions take on the might of St Gregory's College Campbelltown, the 9 times Cup champions. Let's have a look at the fact sheet. St Gregory's College Campbelltown last year, the 11th time they qualified for a final. They went down to Palm Beach Currumbin High in a fantastic decider, and their opponents here, Kiama High School, South Coast champions, have won their way through qualifying to reach the round of 16. A lot of talent in their side. A couple of Australian schoolboy representatives will tell you about later, but among their former students, a couple of Australian representatives, the likes of Rod Wishart and Sean Timmins. Jason Taylor, your former school at last, St Gregory's, under pressure, they are the favourites.
Well, last week, Andrew, I talked about the fact that when any young player pulls on a Fairfield patch jersey, that they have a great tradition to live up to, and I can tell you from personal experience, it is exactly the same at St Greg's. Last year, they found themselves in the position to defend the title that they won in 2000, which is never easy, but they did a superb job. It took a very skillful side from Palm Beach Currumbin to topple them in the final, and along the way, they showed that traditional skill and spirit of St Greg's teams of the past.
And it is St Greg's with the honour of first out here at Parramatta Stadium. Those famous colours, the sky blue and maroon. A list of former students that have gone on to big things in rugby league. As long as your arm, Jason Taylor, just one of those former students. He was Player of the Year back in 1989. You could say the tradition continues for this fantastic rugby league college. Their side today, Wiggins, Primmer, Merrin, Gilmore and Scott. The halves, Clayton and Wisby. The forward pack, Hoffman captain, Tanner, McGillicuddy, Baldwin, Hunter and Gleeson. And it is their captain, the number 13, we've picked out as the player to watch. New South Wales under-19s this year, also selected in the Australian schoolboy squad to tour England and France at the end of the year. A fine back rower in this St Greg's side. And now Kiama, they have travelled many kilometres already throughout this year's competition. 5 matches to be crowned as South Coast champions. They have since won another 3 games to get through to this round of 16. Their best ever season to reach this point of the competition. Their side today, Burke, Spackman, Ross, Brown and Easterman in the centres, Davidson and Byram, and their forwards Staples, Whittaker, Ross, he's one of the Australian schoolboys in the side, Brennan, Sims and Elliott. The second of the Australian schoolboy representatives is ASHTON Sims, this prop forward number 10 at the recent National Championships, player of the tournament.
Now guys, wait for it.
Michael Harradine, referee. Quarter-final spot awaits the winner of today's match. In the case of Kiama High, looking to match the effort we saw a few weeks ago, St Paul's College from Auckland, one of the qualifiers that have reached that final 8. But this is a daunting task, having to take on the might of St Gregory's, and a drop ball in the very first tackle of the match. From the front rower, Warwick Baldwin. And Kiama will get a scrum feed, although now a penalty comes. The call was very late, obviously on the advice of the touch judge. But a bit of a let-off there for St Greg's.
There's almost a mix-up on the catch from St Greg's. 2 players went for it. It caught it cleanly in the end, but as you said, Andrew, it was going to be a scrum, and the referee must have got a tip from the touch judge.
So on their own 40-metre line, Ben Gleeson with a number 9 on his back. Just a handful of players backing up from last year's squad that played in that final. Hoffman, our player to watch, is one of those. But not so the halves, Clayton and Wisby. That is where a lot of their attack will have to come from. Short of halfway with Gleeson and Wisby now. And on for Hoffman, who coming into this match has actually signed a contract with the Melbourne Storm. Off there for the next 2 seasons, having played in the lower grades with Wests. This is Tanner, 35 away from the line. We'll go through some of the other former students through the course of the match that have worn the St Greg's colours. Sam Burke with the ball for Kiama. Tackled by the opposite fullback, Matthew Wiggins, and now a penalty goes the way of Kiama. St Greg's inside the 10.
Well, perfect opportunity for both teams to settle themselves into the game. St Greg's received the penalty on their first tackle with the ball.
Kiama on the attack with Whitaker. One of the sides they defeated on the way through to this round of 16 was the Victorian school, Braybrook. 36 points to 6. That was 3 rounds ago. So it's been an interesting adventure for them. The boys from the South Coast, and they work right. Davidson, rookie 5'8" in this side, and now Brown. The number 6 is only 16 years of age. Steelers Junior and Elliott able to get away from the front rower, Hunter. They're only 7 metres away here, Kiama. Their first scoring chance of the match. They continue to go right with Sims. Front rower, risky ball for Spackman, who gets to the corner. It is a try to Kiama, and Sims, the pass, out the back, and Spackman made the most of his opportunity.
Well, Ashton Sims is lurking out in the right centre position. I mentioned it before the game, Andrew. He has big raps on him, a very talented player. It was a great offload. Flinged it up in the air, and Mitchell Spackman got across in the corner. There was the flick out the back. Spackman cleaned it up, and he went over. This will give us a great shot as to how he got the ball down in the corner. But it was Sims who drew in a couple of defenders. A close one, but 4 points.
Left winger Paul Ross has the kicking duties. He's with the local club in Kiama, the Kiama Knights. Has tasted first grade to convert the try of his wing teammate, Mitchell Spackman. 25 metres out, Ross's kick. Not on target, but Kiama. First points here, this round of 16 match, 4-0 over St Gregory's Campbelltown.
Tonight, take a look around Scott and Mary's lovely home.
Little shake-up here for St Gregory's College. Trying a dribbling kick-off there from Beau Scott. But they had looked good early and have conceded first points. And now with Ross for Kiama. Ross brothers, Stephen, the other half of the duo, playing in the pack. And this is Sims again, attracting defenders and getting the pass for Davidson. Over halfway. Coming together quite nicely, Kiama. Over the early nerves. And they've slipped into the groove now with Staples. Another offload, and Byram is with it, the halfback. Amongst the tall timber and the St Greg's forward pack. I notice Brendan Oak in that tackle, and an error has been forced. Number 17 for St Greg's, one of your Parramatta juniors, Jason. And a talented young forward he is too, Brendan Oak.
Certainly is. I was a bit surprised to see him start the game from the bench in only year 10 last year, where he came on and played in the semi and the final for this team. And year 11 this year, he's got another year at it next year, so he is a talent.
And with the ball is Beau Scott, running quite an angle there, and getting across was Ross in defence. And now with Gilmore, big lump of a centre. He was on the wing. He featured in some of our highlights we rolled before kick-off in last year's squad. Seemed like every match he came up with a big play. And here is Hoffman, a little hurdle over one of his teammates, the other second rower, Tanner. 40-metre line. Kiama's end of the field. Wisby drifting across field for his 5'8" Clayton. Outside defence has improved here for Kiama. And the short kick on tackle number 5. Kiama up with the ball with Josh Elliott. Driven across field there by Hunter. 4-0 scoreline to Kiama. Spackman now, he was the try scorer. And back in field with Staples, and they've put it down, an error. And this end of the field could be trouble. Just outside their 30, St Gregory's will have the scrum feed. And it was a pretty soft mistake.
Yeah, certainly a simple mistake, and St Greg's will look to really take advantage of this now. They've just been comfortable to move the ball around a little bit and get themselves slowly into their game. Wouldn't be happy with the 4-0 deficit, but they'd be happy with the way they're getting through things, getting to the end of their set so far.
And right with Hoffman. Looking to stride through that tackle there of Whittaker. A quick play the ball, and Gleeson is off. And back in it came for Scott. 5 away and keeping it alive there for Gleeson. Then it comes back for the winger Primer. Some nice offloading there from St Gregory's. Almost the ultimate reward. Wisby runs back towards the ruck. And 3 defenders there, only 5 metres out from the Kiama goal line. Set left, Gleeson wants a shot himself.
Big chances on the left if St Gregory can get the ball there.
They hesitated with a play the ball. Wisby utilises that short kick to the in goal, and Burke does well to dive back to the field of play. Prevents the line dropout. And Kiama away with the ball with ASHTON Sims. I mentioned the Kiama Knights, one of the local clubs. The other local club is Gerringong, that a lot of these young players hail from. Burke gets them back to halfway, so at various times during the year, they're actually opponents. A lot of the teammates you're seeing today in this Kiama lineup. Ben Timms tackled 40 away. With ASHTON Sims, first receiver role that time for Staples. Determined run, taken by Scott. It's been a good set for Kiama. And this time they're 5'8" Davidson, hands free to offload. 25 away and tackle number 5. Timms will play it. And they go to the short side with Elliott. Trying a short kick. It's bounced up there for Spackman, and he's got there again. Mitchell Spackman, the winger, on the back of 2 fabulous pieces of play from his teammates. First of all, Sims, then the little kick that time from Elliott. And look at that scoreline, 8-0 to Kiama.
Well, Elliott put a kick in that really didn't look much. It was a grubber that was angled across the field. It was kicked out again, and then Spackman scooped it up, and he showed already he knows how to get himself a try right in the corner, and he did so. Elliott put the grubber. It was Ross who tried to kick it again, rolled through. Spackman picked it up, and this time, no doubt about it.
Second kick now for Paul Ross, and again it is right from the sideline. He takes them back a long way. 26 metres out. And right on the touchline. Ross, this one off the boot, is going to go to the left of the posts. So 2 tries to 0, neither converted. 8-0 scoreline here, Kiama over St Gregory's Campbelltown. Next passage of play with Beau Scott. St Gregory's, they've had some chances. They find themselves down 8-0. And Davison, the man who brings it back to the 30 for Kiama. And a loose ball. It was a forced pass from the second rower, Ross. And now on for Sims. He's lost his left boot on the way through.
They look a very well-balanced side, Kiama, in the way they play footy. There's no doubt as they turn the ball over at halfway again. St Greg's now really need to make something of this. They've received a couple of opportunities like this. Haven't been able to put points on the board. But the point I was making, Andrew, is they're playing right across the field. They can all catch and pass, draw a man, put somebody into a hole. They're not relying on just 1 or 2 players to make the play for them.
Some fair defence there on Andy Hampson. Lost the headgear and the tackle. He was just happy to get up. Now the ball has been put down by Hunter. Allowed to continue, and in fact the tackle count has been restarted. That it was forced out. And Gleeson, blindside with Hoffman. Likes running a corridor down the right side for Scott. This time he'll get there. Beau Scott denied a try earlier. No stopping him there. And St Greg's are on the board at 8 points to 4.
Well, Ryan Hoffman's been well sought after. A lot of NRL clubs are looking for his signature. The West Tigers very keen to keep him as a Magpies junior this year. This is exactly why. Pulled in 3 defenders there before he got the right-handed flick pass, and Scott does the job this time, and that'll make him feel a lot better. He just drifts out, flicks the ball with the right hand, and Beau Scott, in and away on the fullback, plants it down.
Now Tim Clayton, who hails from Narooma, kicking from the sideline. This one pretty good off the boot. If it's strong enough, just under the crossbar. 3 tries scored in this match and no conversions. 8-4. Kiama leading. Some big few minutes coming up to see how Kiama react to conceding their first try of the match. They've done very well to post the first 2 4-pointers. And if we know St Gregory's from the last couple of years following points, their next set of 6 is really up the tempo. And this is what they're doing right here with Brendan Oak over the 40-metre line. That's on tackle 3. And the tackle was Timms. They go across field with Wisby and Scott again. Panthers junior this year, junior rep player. Hoffman was the decoy with Wisby. Long pass on the bounce. And fielded there by Tate. .35 from the line. Last tackle. And it was the front rower who put the kick in. Brock Hunter. I don't think he was intended for the ball, but he had to come up with something. And that's what he delivered, a kick straight to the winger.
Communication definitely fell down there. There was a little opportunity, although it was the last tackle, to run the ball on that left-hand side. Probably something that the coach will be talking to them about at half-time. I've mentioned now twice that opportunities for St Greg's on that far side of the field.
The captain, Staples, he'd be close to topping the hit-up count at the moment for Kiama. Sims, he's mixed his game up well, the front rower. On halfway, last tackle, and Elliott, his kick is charged down. Hoffman leading the race for St Gregory's. Well done by Andrew Brennan to get back there for Kiama, the front rower. Saves a most dangerous situation for his side. So Kiama get another set. Nathan Wall was hit hard there by Hunter. Played juniors for the Balmain club this year. The number 10 for St Greg's is not for the first time in the match. Kiama come up with an error inside their half. That would be the most frustrating thing for their coach, Scott Stewart, so far today. So St Greg's on the 30 and looking for back-to-back tries as Hampson hitting the line at speed. Time leading up to the halftime break. Oh, there was a risky ball there and some big defence. It was begging for an intercept there. Scott was hit hard. He never got the ball. Kiama come up with a penalty, but it was danger on both sides there.
It's Stephen Ross it was who came flying out of the line for Kiama. He plays on that right-hand side of the field. He flew out of the line, picked the man out who was going to receive the ball, got him in a fair tackle, and then once the ball was knocked on, was picked up in an offside position, so Kiama received the penalty in a great way to get out of their half. Good play from Ross.
And again, Sims. He is some sort of talent there. He's covered 20 metres and did it pretty quickly over the ground. His play the ball wasn't all that flash. It got some interference, though. And his team earned a penalty as a result. This is a wonderful chance here.
The referee made the mention to him, you've got to pick it up. So that one could have gone either way because he did put the ball on the ground before he got to his feet, but no doubt it was kicked in the ruck by St Greg's player coming back on side.
It's line finder, has them right on the 20-metre line. St Gregory's end, and Brennan takes the first hit up. Sideways there by Hampson and Tate. They're 15 away. Next hit up comes from Whitaker. He's inside the 10. Kiama leading here by 4 points. They're threatening to get their third try, and they will get their third try with Ross. A little set play close to the line. And Stephen Ross scores Kiama's third 4-pointer of the day. They've got some of the old boys from St Greg's in shock.
Well, they look to me like a very well-coached side from what I've seen so far. Some beautiful little plays that they do amongst each other. This time was Byron just dummied on the outside and turned it back inside to Ross. It was him who got Kiama in this position from the great initiative he took in that set of 6 a few minutes back where he raced out of the line and made a great tackle. This time just the inside ball. Too strong, bit of footwork. Charges over and plants it down under the sticks.
Well, Ross will be a relieved young man that he's finally got a kick from close range. His first 2 from the touchline. This to take us up to half-time and a handy advantage for Kiama. From in front to convert the try of Stephen Ross. And Paul Ross The brother is successful, and what a first half from Kiama. This round of 16 clash we will break with Kiama High leading St Gregory's College Campbelltown by 14 points to 4. The stadium. Two sides battling it out for a spot in the quarterfinals. St Gregory's right to left in your screens to start their second half and down by 10 points. The 9 times Cup champions and runners-up last year. In some trouble against a very skillful and physical Kiama High School side. I think it's equal. The balance of the two talents. They have shown plenty of skill. They come up with an error there, but the size of the side too, the way they've approached this game has been very aggressive. St Greg's get an early chance in this second half. Hampson tackled 35 metres out, and Gleeson able to go for a gallop out of dummy half, and then Wiggins 15 away. This is a nice wake-up call for Kiama straight after the break. Gleeson, Hampson able to slip it around the corner and knocked down by Ross. So Kiama come up with the ball, and Nathan Wall back to the 20.
Good job again from Stephen Ross. Got in between Andy Hampson and the player who's trying to get the ball to. Just knocked it back. Came up with possession for his team. They really do need to get those simple mistakes out of their game, though, Kiama. They are playing very well, but it's at least 3 or 4 they've made now coming out of their own end.
Just short of halfway. Elliott. His kick almost off the side of the boot. Oh, that is half a centimetre. In from the touchline, finding that sideline. He's got a cool head. He's not a little bit worried at all.
He knew exactly where it was going. He does play at first receiver a lot, Elliott. He's got the number 9 jersey on. Packs down in the scrum, but you see him out there serving the first pass. And what turned out to be a great kick that time.
He looks all very laid back about the situation. Stocky hooker.
Hold it, hold it!
On their 20. And Hoffman, who's the captain for St Greg's. This is the 3rd year in the college side as well for Ryan Hoffman. Under the winning squad in 2000. Runner-up last year. Terrific to say you played in 3 finals. If that was to be his destiny. Hampson tackled 5 short of halfway. And then Brendan Oak taking them front on. Now 40 from the Kiama line. They need to score first in the second half. Gleeson and Wisby changes his course there. The ball looked to be raked out there by Byram. And referee Harradine is happy to go with a knock on.
My first thought was that Wisby did try to get a pass away. Drifted back infield here and tried to pass it, I thought. Referee's called it a knock on.
Both teams with a few errors after half-time. And Sean Byram from the scrum, he did everything but pick up the ball. He ran around the back of the scrum, the ball was out. Hesitated in picking it up. Stephen Ross. An Australian Schoolboy Tour at the end of the year. He also represented the Australian Schoolboys last year. Here is Staples on halfway, and he has lost the ball in the tackle. And that time it was St Greg's getting tough. Hunter and Gleeson. They leave a little mark on the lock forward and captain for Kiama. That is a driving hit. The 10 and the 9. And that the reaction of Staples.
Hold it! Don't forget, guys. Guys, just hold the weight. Don't twist. Don't pull it down. Hang on half. Wait for it, half. Half back. Thank you. Get it out, get it out.
It's one of the worst scrums I think I've seen in the last decade, possibly the last 20 years. It comes out. The ball was out, and so was half the scrum. On halfway. And Wiggins right. And we go forward with Hoffman. That time not able to offload. Great offload in the first half for their lone try. Hampson over the top. Brennan came in. Didn't quite get his target. And McGillicuddy now for St Greg's, only 22 metres away. Gleeson. And there is a chance here with Wisby. There was a gap in the defence, and Wisby really put the foot down. Only 5 metres away. Gleeson slow to pass to the left. Clayton's kick. Gets it to the in goal. Ross has lost it. It'll be a knock-on against Kiama right on their own goal line.
In the field.
He had it between his legs. Stephen Ross.
Well, he still saved the day for his side because I think it was going to be a try. He's got the number 12 jersey on, Ross, but he is playing at right centre now. There's a knock on there, but there were a number of St Greg's players coming through. A nice run from Rick Wisby up the middle of the field. Created that opportunity.
Dragging it in with his legs there, he prevented a penalty against his side. One of his teammates from an offside position was going to dive on the ball. Big push here from Kiama. Hoffman comes away with it for St Greg's. Hoffman is only a metre from the line. And then a play the ball when Clayton wasn't there. It'll be play on for Kiama. Hoffman can't believe it. Such a spirited charge. He gets up, the quick play the ball, exactly what his side wanted, but no dummy half, and now Kiama come away. How quickly things can turn. Now back to halfway.
It was that man again.
Front rower Sims, Jason.
It was that man again, Andrew, Stephen Ross, who dived on that ball when there was no dummy half for St Greg's.
Easterman and Kiama really looking to make St Greg's pay for this. 18 metres out from the line, this in the set of 6 that St Greg's were looking like they were going to score. And now the ball is put down by Byron. And St Greg's will play it.
Regardless of the outcome of this game, the Kiama coach will sit down and show the boys. Here we see the replay. Hoffman got up and played it, and Ross just dived. Questionable whether he was onside, but it's smart thinking. Kiama coach will definitely sit these boys down and say, if we can just take some of these simple errors out of our game, they could be ahead by a lot more in this match so far.
Second man. Flop in.
Griggs penalty here.
Flopped in.
It helps. Andrew Brennan penalised. 14-4 the scoreline. That was the second tackle, no doubt about it.
I'd like to see St Greg's play with a little bit more support on early tackles. Here we see Brendan Oak hitting it up on his own. We might see it come wide, but if we don't, then we'll see another player hit it up. One out again. McGillicuddy hits it up. No support.
Now we reach tackle 3, and this is a man they need to support. Hoffman, he's got that right arm free. All the way to the ground as well. Wiggins got there just a fraction late. 20 metres out. And left Wisby for Clayton. Inside ball. They find their mark. That is Baldwin. He's only a couple of metres from the line. Warwick Baldwin. Now the pressure is on Kiama. And from dummy half, Andy Hampson. He soaks up a tackle. It brings us to the last in the count. And they go the short side with Wisby. His pass wide out for Tate. He stretches out the score. He's done well, Nathan Tate. And St Gregory's right back in this ball game at 14 points to 8.
Well, I mentioned it a couple of times in the first half, and after that great run from Baldwin, it was on the left, the next 2 tackles. He was unlucky not to get across himself here. Great scramble defence from Kiama. There was an opportunity here on the left, but it was still going to be tough to get it across the line because Kiama realised it. They raced up, and G. Tate did a good job. He took what wasn't an easy pass there, reached out and slammed it down. Great try. Gets them right back into the game.
Tim Clayton, his side down by 6 points, needs some swing back on the kick, doesn't get it. Margin will remain a converted try. 14-8, round of 16 in the Kellogg's Nutrigrain Cup. Start comes from Paul Ross. Kiama leading by 6. Still in the driver's seat. But St Greg's back in this game, urged on by their support crew. Nathan Tate, most recent try scorer. Plenty of support from St Greg's, making the trip out today. But St Greg's are now getting a roll on. And a quick play the ball from Hunter. And they go right with Wisby. Then on for Hoffman. Hoffman straight through for Hampson. He keeps it alive for Wiggins. 20 metres from the line, and Burke comes up with a big tackle. Fullback for Kiama. Wisby is following up the Tate try. Tate is with it. He's inside the Kiama 20. And wrapped up there by Sims and Ross, and that's tackle 5. Clayton. Infield. Wisby. Plenty of time to steady for the kick. Here it is for Kiama. Ball has come loose. It'll be play on here for St Greg's. No, he's got a first knock on against St Gregory's. So it is a changeover.
Yeah, they've really stepped up the tempo now, St Greg's. The referee's called the knock on from Primer.
Go, fellas, release.
They really have lifted, though. They know they're right back in this game. Some really steaming runs to get them off their own try line after that kick-off. And a good set of 6. Didn't come away with the try that they were looking for, but really put Kiama under some pressure. Some great support down the middle of the field on one of those raids.
Sims with it for Kiama. Kiama too have their support. They've made the bus trip. And here is Stephen Ross. Very aggressive back rower. Well, he did a little lunge forward here. I think he's won the penalty as much as anything. I don't think Brendan Oak it wasn't a bad offence, but Ross certainly made it look so with a little dive forward.
He's done some very important things for his team here today. There's 6 more tackles on the charge down. There's a question too. If I run towards a man, Andrew, and I turn my back on him as he's going to kick it and he kicks it into me, am I doomed to have played at the ball?
That's what you were talking about. I think the mere fact that he's making a play at the kicker of the football, that he has played at the football, he's playing the man who's about to do the kick. But I do see your point. As Staples has tackled, the interesting one would be if it then ricocheted over the sideline. Would they say was it off St Greg's? Was it accidental? Let's stick with Kiama right at the moment. They're 15 away from the line. Out of dummy half goes Michael Brown. He's lost the ball in the tackle. Play on for Kiama. Good hands for Sims. He's only 8 metres from the line and able to offload and then put down by the second rower, Ross. Oh, that's a chance gone there for Kiama. St Greg's were looking a little rattled.
We've seen him offload so many times today. Sure, the players around him are aware that he's going to do it. The time it was that man again, Ross. Couldn't take it cleanly.
That's better.
Stephen Ross moving to centre, and that scrum was formed. No Scott for St Gregory's. The first try of the match for St Greg's. There is still time, but with a countback situation, they would need to score more than just once. St Gregory's 14 all will not be good enough. That would bring it back to 3 tries all. Completion rates a little disappointing for both teams, but it's been some good defence as well in this match that has contributed to that. No tackled short of halfway. Gleeson, and then with McGillicuddy, trying to get through the centre, popping that pass up for Hunter. He's done some good things, the front rower, Brock Hunter. This tackle St Greg's, needing a result from this play. Wisby kicks deep for the corner. Burke is the man who'll get across, gets a nice bounce, and is tackled just inside his 10-metre zone. The hard slog starts again for Kiama, coming off their own line.
Nice play from St Greg's. It's easy to think we need points here and try and push something on the last play and come up with an easy turnover. They put the kick deep in, and they've got Kiama where they want them here. If they can hold them, they'll get some good ball and good field position and be a chance.
Well, there is the loose ball, but again, referee Harradine has ruled that it was the fault of St Gregory's and a penalty awarded. Brett McGillicuddy just had to get his hand out of there. Kiama would be thinking they score again, they wrap up the contest. Ben Timms on halfway. 3 tries to 2. They've had only the 1 conversion in this match. There's Kiama work left. And Sims, he's tall, he's got a good build for a front rower, and he's used that height and reach with some of his offloads today. Now a kick has turned around Merrin. It'll go over the sideline, and I think Andrew Merrin happy about that. If he makes a play at the football, and the odds are he gets tackled into touch. Watch the kick again. If Merrin has to make a play here, then you reckon the chaser comes through and gets him over the sideline. And the kicker of the football, Elliott, he wanted it to stay in the field of play. He wasn't looking for the line whatsoever. He was looking to play that corner.
Don't lift him!
So he's back in possession, but at the opposite end to where they want to be to attack. And they need some big attacking now The clock starts to be their enemy. Nice offload, then put down. I think it was Jacob Lang who lost it. Kiama come up with the ball.
Great run from Andy Hampson and a nice offload there. Gee, he's really lifted his team since he's come off the bench in this game. He steams onto the ball every time he runs it. He's not a big man, and that time got away a beautiful offload. Unlucky that it didn't create a bigger opportunity for the St Greg's team.
We saw in the previous tackle, McGuinness, his first touch, he got hammered by Hunter. Outside the 20. And Brown. And a cross with Elliott. Ducking for cover was Paul Ross. Now, nice step off Easterman away from that sideline. Leaders by 6, Kiama, against the might of St Gregory's. And it comes across there, thinking field goal. Brad Davidson off the boot. Has missed to the left. They've taken the margin to 7. Plenty of contact, but just not the direction.
And really at this stage, 7 is the same as 6, because St Greg's score and convert. Kiama is still ahead with the scores level, so to be ahead by 1 or to be level, they're still ahead. So St Greg still need to score twice.
Just to clarify that countback situation, if it does get to 14 all, we go back to tries, and that would be 3 tries all. Then we go back to first scorer, and that of course was Kiama. So they would win at a 14 all scoreline. St Gregory's left, Clayton, he had a man on his inside, wrapped up on halfway by the second rower, Ross. There's a chance down this blind side. There's a 4-on-1 overlap here. The ball comes up for Merrin, and the cover gets across. Stephen Ross has done some big things in this game, and again, right there with that tackle.
He's worn the number 12, but he's played at right centre for most of the game. It was 4-on-1, as you called, Andrew. They did a good job. Just herded Merrin into the sideline. Ross with a big tackle in the end, and Spackman. Good stuff.
Thanks. All right, get him in.
So Elliott, 1 against the feed. It wasn't all that flash. What an opportunity then for St Greg's with Scott. Big fend and away from Easterman. 10 metres away from the line. A scrum win against the feed, and the door opens again for St Greg's. Hoffman will get over, will he? He stretches out. The captain for St Greg's has got the try to bring his side back within 2. What drama here. A scrum against the feed, and then that try to the man on screen, Ryan Hoffman.
We mentioned a scrum earlier in the game, Andrew, as the worst scrum you'd seen in 10 or 20 years. But who would have thought a scrum against the feed in the year 2002 could lead to a try to get the scores level after this goal kick? He's just too strong, Ryan Hoffman. Got footwork, very hard to tackle.
And now the conversion. So it is level. 14 points all. Round of 16, Kellogg's Nutrigrain Cup, Kiama and St Gregory's Campbelltown. Plenty of time. With the scores level. Repeating, Kiama would win on a countback if they finish 14 all. So St Greg's must score if they are to advance to the quarters.
Going back to my point before about the field goal for Kiama, I suppose the fact that I did forget is it would have taken the opportunity for St Greg's to kick a field goal out of the game. As they get a penalty, they are a chance of kicking a field goal and winning this game. So I was probably wrong in my comment before, Andrew, for the first time.
Well, all the momentum is with St Greg's, and then a terrible kick for the line is covered up by Spackman, with a kick barely got a couple of metres off the ground. They were looking to do everything in fast motion, and then they steadied for the kick. And it just didn't help. Look at this one. That is not a big kick. It wasn't a great deal of distance. They needed to find the line. So Kiama back with it. And now prepared to steady the ship with their 5'8 Davidson on halfway. Byram, Sims, and then McGuinness in tackle 5. They haven't offered a great deal in this set. They go for the long-range field goal. Josh Elliott. Well, obviously, they're not entirely clear about the countback situation. Be going for a field goal from outside 40. like jogging down there and telling the coach myself. St Greg's 5 metres out from their own line. Some sort of kick on the previous play where they look for the line, soak up a bit more time. That's the idea here. St Greg's in possession. Brendan Oak, 25 away from his own line. Who's the game breaker in this St Greg's side? It could be Hoffman. He's with the ball. Again, he's been in a position to offload just about every occasion today. This time he has lost the ball. Pile driving stuff from the St Greg's defence. Ball with McGuinness. He's 25 away. And now Byron. Smith there in the tackle of McGillicuddy. They're on the 20. A lot of upending tackles happening now for St Greg's as they get aggressive.
Here's Elliott.
Byram. They go wide with Davidson. Keeps it alive, and there's a door there for Wall to march through and score. Nathan Wall gets over for Kiama. And you've got to say good night, St Gregory's College, Campbelltown. The boys from the South Coast have pulled off the upset. 18 points to 14.
We don't want to say it, but you have to come back to that penalty that St Greg's received and they failed to find touch. Wall got his hands on the ball and he got through the Hoffman tackle. It was still 2 defenders on him. I thought they were going to hold him back.
Paul Ross, his 4th attempt for the day. And he is prepared over this one like he is kicking for his own life. He is 15 metres in from touch. He is 18 metres out off the right boot and he slices it. Almost out to the corner post. So it is 18 points to 14. The short kick-off is the play. And they've gone somewhere mid-range there. A long short kick-off. It came up 25 metres out from the line. Now the full-time siren will sound here as Kiama and Stephen Ross just belts the ball over the sideline, and Kiama, their best ever performance, just got even better. They are through to the quarterfinals and they have toppled the greatest cup winners of all time, St Gregory's. 4 tries to 3, 18 points to 14. Kiama, the South Coast champions, winners over St Greg's. And our player of the match, the number 12 for Kiama, Stephen Ross. It has been a big few weeks. Selected in the Australian schoolboy squad, and today leading his side to a miraculous victory over the champions of 2000 and the runners-up of 2001, St Gregory's. So all the celebrations today for the team from the South Coast. They bring with them their support crew and they will drive home happy. Kiama through to the quarterfinals. We'll have more action next week in the Kellogg's Nutrigrain Cup.